shop at any of our Ram supermarkets and cash and carry locations in St. Kitts and Nevis. Enter to win an Apple Lions. Win yourself an iPhone 13, Apple iPad, Samsung 50-inch Smart TV, or a Whirlpool washing machine. Celebrate Christmas with Rams, where you're guaranteed better prices, better quality, and better value for you and your family. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people.
Terms and conditions apply. See in stores for details.
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place. At the TDC Copy and Print Center on 4th Street in Basse-Terre, we do just that. We offer document formatting, graphic design, and copy and print services. Our team of professionals truly understand all your needs, whether it be administrative, professional, academic, or personal. You bring it, we deliver it with quality every time. Visit the TDC Copy and Print Center today in the TDC Mall on 4th Street in Basse-Terre or call 465-2511. Your copy and print specialists are waiting to serve you.
Open up this at the time of the year. Flow up and spread the Christmas cheer. To everybody whether far or near. Flow make a Christmas park around here.
Celebrate Christmas with double data and a free ZTE A5 when you add your mobile to your home internet. Plus, enjoy the best mobile rates on the best network as low as $80 per line for 4 lines.
Christmas have a sparkle, you know? Make it happen with Flow.
Visit discoverflow.co for more details. Conditions apply.
You asked, we listened, and now it's here. The Customs and Excise Department is excited to introduce our CPS, the Customs Payment System. Stay from the comfort of your home, the hustle and bustle of the office, the relaxation on the beach, or even from your vacation in Tahiti, and see if your import is ready for pickup and pay online with your credit or debit card with just a simple click. No more long cashier lines. The St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department, changing the way we do business.
Good morning and welcome to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. And joining us here today is Ms. Kishma Griffin, the Public Relations Officer of the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department. And today she will be speaking about some of the new services and initiatives that have been implemented by the Customs and Excise Department. Good morning, Ms. Griffin, and welcome again to the studios of WINNFM 98.9. It's indeed a pleasure to have you.
Good morning, Devon, and good morning to your listening and those that are streaming. It's a pleasure to be here, and again, we're excited to be able to inform the public as to what the Customs is doing.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Ms. Griffin. So let's head right into the discussion, and there are some things you said that you wanted to share with the general public about some initiatives that have been implemented by the Customs and Excise Department. Tell us more.
Okay, so Devon, we launched our CPS, that's the Customs Payment System, and what that does is it gives the importer the opportunity to go online and check the status of their cargo, see if it's available for pickup, and pay for their cargo online. So it eliminates the cashier lines. Before time, we would see these ridiculously long lines at the customs cashier. And in light of COVID, which is, it is an issue still, we wanted to make sure that we put something in place to prevent any likelihood or any case of spread or anything of that nature. And so people now have the opportunity to avoid the line and pay online. And so we're really excited about that system. Now, we would have launched it fully on the 1st of December. Now, let me just say, because there are some people might be thinking that this is mandatory. You still have the option of coming up and standing in the line if you want to. So those who are not computer savvy and tech savvy, you still have that option of being able to come up to the department and go to the cashier lines. There are some people who don't even use cards, debit or credit. So you still can do the old-fashioned check payment, the old-fashioned cash. So this is just something new and exciting that we've put out there to make sure that we do our part in decreasing the likelihood of any spread of the virus by having all these people congregating in an area at one particular time. And it's doing business, basically. So we are really excited about it, and we ask the customers to call us if they have any issues or any concerns or if they need any clarification, and they can do so by calling our hotline at 550. And it's straight, it's free to them. So they can call us and we'll be able to guide them, walk them through, give them better explanation as to how the system works. But we want to encourage the people, the customers, to use this new facility. It's safe, it's convenient, and it's easy, So we have that. That's the first thing that we have on the table. The next thing that we do have is the introduction of our body cams. So we are now using body cams. The examining officers are now required to wear body cams at all times. When I say all times, I mean during the examination process. So once the examination begins, they would have to make sure that the camera is on, and it goes right up until the completion. Now, this would have come about because of the complaints that we would have had last year and into this year. So we wanted to kind of boost the confidence of the public so that they can feel comfortable knowing their cargo is being inspected by the department and there is nothing shady going on in the background. We would have told them before that we have cameras and surveillance systems in the examination area, but to further enhance the security of the entire process and the integrity of the entire process, we went ahead and outfitted our officers with these body cams. So in the unlikely event that there is something missing from someone's cargo, we now have the opportunity to view not only the surveillance that's in the examination area, but we also have the footage from the body cam. So we are really excited about introducing that also. And we hope that we would have been able to gain back some of the confidence from the public as a result of this new initiative. We also want to let the public know that we have extended our working hours for the peak season. So from the 6th to the 10th, we'll be operating from 8 to 5. From the 13th to the 17th, we'll be operating from 8 to 6. And from the 20th to the 23rd, we'll be operating from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll also be working on Saturdays. So we'll be open to the general public from Saturday the 11th of December from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Saturday the 18th of December also from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it gives the customer now a little more time to be able to get up to us. We know some people finish working at 4 or probably 5 o'clock. So it gives them a little bit more time to be able to come and engage us. And let's also talk about the concessions, the relief. So from the 15th of November, the government would have announced the 500-pound allowance duty-free on foodstuff, and that is non-commercial. So your personal food items, you're now allowed 500 pounds free, and from the first, and this is actually extended all the way down to the 28th of February 2022. Normally, it cuts off on the 31st of December, but the government has decided to extend the relief, and we so need this relief. So it's now down to all the way in February of 2022, the 28th of February, the month end basically. Now we have also the $540 EC off of the CIF for non-commercial imports. So that refers to goods, your clothing, your gifts, your toys. So now there is a $540 EC relief on the CIF. So that too is exciting news, because although the pandemic has hit everybody hard, the government has still decided to give the relief. And so we appreciate the relief, and I'm sure people out there were waiting with bated breath to see if they were going to get this relief. And so the relief is here, so we're telling you to utilize the relief while it's here. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So if there are any questions, go ahead, Devon.
Thank you so much, Ms. Griffin. I wanted to ask about the CPS system, that is the customs payment system, right?
Correct.
Yes, the customs payment system. Is there a particular way that one would have to access this system, and are there any additional costs that consumers would have to face to access the system?
No, there's no cost to the consumer.
Completely free.
Yes.
Awesome.
Except for whatever data you're using, but there's no cost. Yeah.
Right. And you said how to access the CPS?
Okay, so you'll have to log on to our website, which is www.skncustoms.com, and then you scroll down to the bottom and you'll see a tab that says CPS. Once you click on it, it gives you the step-by-step as to how to engage the feature. Like I said before, if they have any issues at all, or if they come upon any problems, feel free to call our hotline at 550, or you can call us directly for 466-7227, and someone will be there to assist you and guide you through the walking steps.
Okay, great. With regards to the body cams that have been implemented for the examining officers, is this the same case for the Nevis end as well?
I am not sure if it's in Nevis as yet. That is something I will have to ask and get back to you on. I'm not 100%, I can't give an answer. So I'll get back to you on that one.
That's fine. And what about, so you said that the introduction of the body cams is to add to the security measure at the customs department. Are there any other measures that have been implemented by the department to mitigate against any situation where items may go missing?
Okay, so besides our security, because we have security there, we have the room. The room is, there's surveillance all around from different angles, and then the body cams are now the new additional feature. So I'm thinking that in itself, it closes every single gap that there is possible for any mishap. And I just want to say, Devon, I just want to make something a little clear. No, we have re-examined, we have investigated, we've looked back, we've done checks and balances to see what could have gone wrong. And in most of the events and let me also say, now to date, we have just a little between 50 to 55 claims of missing items. Now, what we would have realized is that goods would have been inadvertently packed back in a different consignment. And yes, so John Doe would have said they're missing X amount of stuff from their shipment, but only to find out that Nancy Doe would have gotten additional things in her shipment that she did not buy or her family did not send for her. So we realized that was a problem. So we put steps in place to prevent that from occurring. We also had a couple of issues where things were inadvertently left out of a shipment, and they were just there. They were there. Nobody took them home. Nobody stole them. They were just there, and It's only after the customers would have come back and we would have done a recheck of the examination area, we realize there is the missing item. So we again put things in place to reduce the likelihood of that reoccurring. I just want to say that we would have, to date, we would have had tens of thousands of imports, basically, coming in. And the amount of claims that we've had, like I said, would have been between 50 to 55. So you see the volume of items the volume of shipments that are coming in as opposed to the claims.
Right.
So if you do your math and you work the fraction, you will realize that although it's an issue, it's a very, very tiny amount compared to our imports.
Okay. Now, you've said that there are body cams for the examining officers. Is it just for the examining officers? And what happens if an examining officer refuses or not in a position to utilize or wear the body cam?
Okay, so in order for the examination to begin, the officer must have that body cam affixed to their person. And it must be switched on. And the officers have to initiate the entire process. So they talk through the entire process. So to answer your question, the body cam must be on and affixed to the uniform before the examination process can begin.
Great. Okay, so I think we've been able to touch on all that we have. The customs payment system, which you said is new, where it avoids customers from coming to the customs and waiting in long lines. You have the introduction of the body cams for the customs officers or the examining officers when the examination process is beginning, and the concessions that have been implemented by the government for this season. Can you just quickly remind the listening public about the concessions and what are the limitations? Because some people may take it to mean something differently. You said that there would be, for example, $540 off non-commercial imports. Can you expound on that just a little bit?
Okay, so non-commercial imports are imports that are not for resale. So Nancy Doe, who's down the bay selling her shoes, she's not considered as a non-commercial importer. She is actually a commercial importer, right? So when we say non-commercial importer, we are speaking about the regular people who are bringing in the goods for their own personal use or consumption.
Great.
When we talk about the food stuff, the 500 pounds free, we are talking about assorted food stuff, right? Because a person might feel like I'm bringing in 500 pounds of chicken. Now that rings a bell and it looks commercial, right? So it's our 500 pounds of candy.
Right.
Of course, that looks commercial. So we are speaking about assorted food.
Assorted food, great. Ms. Griffin, let's take this short break to acknowledge the sponsors, and when we come back, we will continue the discussion right here on Voices. Let's take this short break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Decided what to eat yet, hon?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
and getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
Shop and Rams, the good food people. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas from Rams. Have a holly jolly Christmas this December when you shop at any of our Ram supermarkets and cash and carry locations in St. Kitts and Nevis. Enter to win an Apple Lions. Win yourself an iPhone 13, Apple iPad, Samsung 50-inch Smart TV, or a Whirlpool washing machine. Celebrate Christmas with Rams, where you're guaranteed better prices, better quality, and better value for you and your family. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people.
Terms and conditions apply. See in stores for details.
Sale! 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 You heard right! The TDC Home and Building Depots are at it again with another 2-day sale on Friday 10th and Saturday 11th December. Shop your way to a different discount every hour with up to 25% off in store. And if you're at the cashier when the buzzer goes off, you get an additional 5% off your purchase. Get everything you need for the holidays at TDC Home and Building Depots this weekend, Friday 10th and Saturday 11th December. Remember, TDC is Christmas. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back to Voices on WINNFM 98.9, and joining us in studio is Miss Kishma Griffin of the Customs and Excise Department here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and she is the Public Relations Officer. And Ms. Griffin took the opportunity to speak about some of the measures and initiatives that have been implemented by the Customs and Excise Department to better serve the public and people here in St. Kitts and Nevis. She spoke of the customs payment system, which was introduced on December 1st, or launched rather, on December 1st, where consumers can now make payments electronically instead of coming to the customs department. She also spoke of the introduction of body cams for the examining officers. And so during the examination process, officers are required to wear body cams. And this is adding to security measures at the customs department. And of course, we have the usual concessions offered by the government. We have $540 off for non-commercial imports, and you also have the £500 free, and this lasts up until February 2022. The phone lines are open, and we're going to take some calls. We had some calls earlier, but we lost those calls, so we're going to use the last few minutes just to take some calls to see if we have any questions from members of the public with regards to anything that you made reference to today, Miss Griffin. The numbers are 4660989, 6620989, and 7620989. You can also send us a WhatsApp at 6622204. At this point in time, Ms. Griffin, are there anything else that you would like to add at this point in time that you would like to share with members of the public?
Okay, so Devon, just to clarify, the body cams, they're only being used at Hobson's Enterprise and at the Transit Shed 2. That is the warehouse. That is what people commonly refer to as the warehouse. Mm-hmm. Those two examining areas are where the body cams are being used for now. As it pertains to the non-commercial online payment, mm-hmm. that is also only at Hobson's, for goods coming in only at Hobson's Enterprises and Transit Shed 2 for now. It's being done in a phase approach, so later on you'll hear me back again to say it's everywhere.
Right. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for this clarification, as I assume that some people thought that it would have been all over, but thank you so much for clarifying this. We have just about 1 minute left, and we do have a call, so let's take this call quickly. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning. I've been here listening to the customer office. Good morning, customer officer. She is putting on ice and a cake that's not baked. She put it on ice and a cake that's not baked. She's speaking about body camera. That is nonsense. So that is not no easy for no customer. The problem is that it's illegal to search somebody's container behind the back. It's not in Parliament. It's not in Parliament. It's illegal. You telling me she's saying all sorts of things. Again, she putting on ice on a cake that is not baked.
Okay.
And it's not staying on.
Okay, thank you so much, caller.
They're not supposed to search nobody things behind their back.
Okay, thank you, caller, for your...
bottleneck.
Right.
If they have, coming on to December time, it have a long bottleneck, a lot of shipment coming as you speak. They know that. They go to the high school and get the 6 farmers them from Nevis and St. Kitts and train them to come in and let them get a little change in the Christmas season that they can prepare themselves for the workforce. So that is no kind of excuse. First, they talk about corona. Because of the corona, because of this. So they have to get somebody from the custom officer and the agent to come and search people's barrels. And when that's what happened, get the children them from high school. Some of them finish the exam.
Yeah. Okay, caller, we're out of time, so we're gonna have to. We're out of time, so I'm gonna have to end this call with you. Okay.
All right.
Yes, thank you so much for your contribution. Would you like to respond to that, Ms. Griffin?
So I have to be really, really quick.
Yes.
Thank you for your call, ma'am. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but no, we are not doing anything behind anybody's back. We are not doing anything illegal. Our Custom Act gives us the legal authority to do these searches, and you can check section 137 and 138. So no, we are not doing anything behind anybody's back. And I'm so sorry that you feel that way. Yes, Corona had a big impact on this decision, because if things were left in their normal state, some people would not have received their shipments until earlier in next year. And so to avoid that disappointment, this new system became necessary. But I'm very sad that that is the way you feel about it, and probably in the near future I might be able to convince you that that's not the case. But thank you for your call.
And thank you so much, Ms. Griffin, for that response. We're going to end this edition of Customs Corner here on Voices for today. Ms. Griffin, thank you so much for coming today to share the new initiatives that have been implemented by the Customs Department, and I hope that they will be serving the public well. I think some people would definitely appreciate some of these measures that have been implemented. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Devon, and thank you to the viewing and the listening audience.
Okay, you have a good day.
Thank you. You asked, we listened, and now it's here. The Customs and Excise Department is excited to introduce our CPS, the Customs Payment System. Stay from the comfort of your home, the hustle and bustle of the office, the relaxation on the beach, or even from your vacation in Tahiti, and see if your import is ready for pickup and pay online with your credit or debit card with just a simple click. No more long cashier lines. The St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department, changing the way we do business.
So you were just listening to Miss Kishma Griffin, the Public Relations Officer at the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department, and this was another edition of Customs Corner. And Ms. Griffin spoke about some of the new initiatives that have been implemented by the Customs and Excise Department. And we're going to continue Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. It is 11:34. And of course, we're going to go until 12 noon, where we stop for the headline news and we come back after to continue Voices. Until 12, I want to get your feedback and your participation on the budget presentation that is being presented by the Nevis Island Administration in the Nevis Island Assembly. The budget presentation began yesterday, December 7th, with the Premier and Minister of Finance, Mark Brantley, presenting a $229 million budget for the island of Nevis for the fiscal year 2022. Now, what I want to do for the next half an hour and into the next hour of Voices is to make a bit of a comparison between the budget that was presented last year and to just provide you with some figures, the differences and what was presented last year and what is being presented for this year, for those persons that may not know what was presented this year, and for those who are not following last year and this year. So we had the 2021 budget for the NIA, which was $237.2 million, and it was presented under the theme Rebuilding Our Economy, a People-Centered Approach to Economic Recovery. And of course, this came against the backdrop because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the budget for the 237.2. Now, the Premier said for the budget in 2021, 174.9 million was allocated to recurrent spending, which represents 73% of the total budget expenditure. Please bear in mind that this is the budget from last year. Now, regarding the revenue collection, the Finance Minister noted that the effects of the COVID-19 have been taken into account. And the NIA projected a collection of 128.2 million in recurrent revenue, which represents a projected decrease of 8% when compared to the projected revenue of 139.5 million for the fiscal year 2020. Now, the Premier said, quote, "We expect our recurrent revenue to be augmented by the remittance of at least $45 million from the federal government, representing our share of revenue from the CBI program." He said, "Our combined total recurrent revenue is therefore projected at $173.2 million for the upcoming 2021 fiscal period. When compared to the projected recurrent expenditure of $174.9 million, it provides a deficit on the recurrent budget of $1.7 million. Now, for capital expenditure for the last year budget, an amount of $62.3 million was allocated, which represents a 10.2% reduction when compared to the amount of $69.4 million allocated for the previous year, which would be 2020. And just to give you a quick recap of the allocation for the different ministries for the 2021 fiscal year, the Office of the Premier got $7.7 million, and that represents 3.2% of the total budget. And this includes funds that have been allocated to support security services in the fight against criminal activities. The Ministry of Finance got $80.6 million. The Ministry of Communications and Works got $34.2 million. The Ministry of Agriculture got $12.6 million. Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs got $35.6 million. The Ministry of Education, Library Services got $34.2 million. And included in this were funds for the TVET enhancement program, and we have seen the construction of a new TVET wing at the Gingerland Secondary School. The Ministry of Social Development, Culture, Youth and Sports got $16.1 million, and the Ministry of the Ministry of Social Development, Culture, Youth and Sports, $16.1 million. Now, for this year, as mentioned before, the budget is $229 million, and this is now themed Recapturing the Momentum, Restoring Fiscal Sustainability. And this is to support projected revenues, or the Premier, laid out the projected revenues and expenditure for the 2022 fiscal year. And for those of you who missed yesterday's presentation, I can just give you a quick recap of what was stated. So $180.9 million was allocated to recurrent spending, representing 79.0% of the total budgeted expenditure. Now, the Office of the Premier has been allocated 7.7 million, which represents 3.4% of the total budget. The Ministry of Finance is allocated funding in the amount of 82.8 million, representing 36.3% of the total budget. The Ministry of Communications and Works got 32.4 million. The Ministry of Agriculture got 12.6 million. The Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs got 34 million. The Ministry of Tourism got 5.2 million. The Ministry of Education, Library Services and Information Technology was allocated 33.7 million, and the Ministry of Social Development, Culture, Youth and Sports got $15.7 million. And of course, the budget presentation is continuing today with the opposition parliamentarian, Honorable Cleveland Stapleton Simmons, making her presentation and responding to the budget that was presented yesterday by the finance minister. And of course, the spending by the Nevis Island administration has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we saw yesterday in Parliament, where there was some back and forth with regards to the CBI program and the famous talk of I say famous talk because everybody have been talking about it, of fair share and what Nevis is getting and what St. Kitts is getting. And the Premier spent some time talking about CBI revenues that have been sent over or received from the federal government, and he is still of the view that Nevis is still not getting its fair share and continues to call for fair share for the island and Nevis. I want to hear your views on this. Yes, we have talked about this time and time again, but I find that the conversations are very, very interesting because many people have their varying opinions and views on what is Nevis's fair share, or what should Nevis get. While there is a constitutional arrangement or agreement of what should be allocated, many people have their varying opinions of what it should be. Some are of the opinion that Nevis should not get any fair share. Some are of the opinion that, yes, Nevis should get fair share of the CBI revenues. But as I said before, this is a very interesting conversation, and it is something that I always look forward to. We're seeing a situation now where, yes, we're in the COVID-19 pandemic, and the talk now is that revenue, it has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And if I must be very honest and blunt, I'm really tired of governments blaming the COVID-19 pandemic and saying that, okay, we were not able to do this because of COVID. We were not able to deliver this project because of COVID, and we had to, make some changes. Well, I understand, yes, COVID has really played a significant role in how the government would spend and how the government would allocate different resources to different ministries. I am not buying the talk or the position from the government that, hey, we can't do nothing because of COVID. Because on one hand, the position or the stance is that funds have been depleted. Fine, we understand that because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, as a tourism dependent economy, one would understand that of course, because we're not getting the same volume of international travelers and all of that, of course, funds will deplete. But at the same time, you're seeing where funds are being pumped into things that I would say are not of significant importance. You're seeing funds and precious public resources pumped into areas that are quite frankly not needed at this point in time. So when things like these happen, and then we come back and say that the government is low on funds and there is no money in the government, you kind of, in my opinion, play with the minds of people. Because on one hand, you're saying that funds have been depleted and there is no money. And then on the other hand, you're saying that, hey, we have money to spend in this area. We have money to spend in that area. Part of the budget presentation yesterday, the Premier spoke of expansion works that have been going on at the Alexandra Hospital, the island's only hospital there. And one would know or note that the expansion project at that hospital commenced close to 5 years ago, and it is still under construction. What the Premier and the Junior Minister of Health have said is that, yes, this is not just a project where you come and you make an addition to a regular building. Hospitals are complex and unique buildings and have specific designs. So yes, one would understand that it would naturally take longer than any other construction or expansion project, but it is just an expansion project, and so an explanation rather is needed as to why it is now nearing 5 years and this expansion project is not yet complete. Of course, we've heard the excuse that, well, the reason why this is still not complete is because it is a hospital, and one really has to, of course, take their time and to make sure that any mistakes are not made. But close to 5 years have passed. We're going on 5 years now, and this project is yet to be complete. The Premier did state in his address that the project should be completed by 2022, while a specific timeline was not given. Now, I also wanted to say that earlier in this year, it was noted by the Premier and Minister of Tourism that negotiations or talks have commenced with the developers of a resort called One and Only. And according to reports, negotiations began as early as January of 2021. Today is now the 8th day of December 2021, and nothing has materialized. Now, according to the Premier at several press conferences, a deadline was set, and that deadline is December, which is year end. And so if nothing happens, or if there is no real movement on this project, then it would have to be abandoned, because deadline suggests that, well, if you don't meet the requirements by this particular point in time, then things are going to have to go the other way. An update was not given at yesterday's sitting of the Nevis Island Assembly, but we hope that in the next coming days or few weeks, an update will be given with that project. And I don't want to hear because of COVID, because conversations began in COVID. I would understand if the conversations began prior to COVID, but conversations began in January of this year. And it was stated that by December of this year, one should expect to see some movement, because the deadline for this project to really commence would be December. We're now in December, and no update has been given. But of course, I will continue to follow this story and hope that we would get an update and to know whether or not this project is going to continue, or whether this project is going to, let me not say continue, but start. Because at this particular point in time, all that we do know is that it is still in the negotiation stage, where the Nevis Island Administration and the developers for the One and Only resort, they are still in conversations a whole year later. I must say that is very disappointing, but we're hoping that the Premier would give an update in very short order as to what are the plans for this project and if it is going to continue or if it's going to continue into the new year. I want to hear from you, members of the public, so you can call us at 466-0989, 762-0989 and 662-0989. You're listening to Voices on WINNFM 98.9. It is 10 minutes to the hour, so we're going to break at 12 for the headline news. And when we come back, we'll continue Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. I am your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Let's take this break to give a shout out to our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll continue Voices right here. Let's take this short break and we will be right back.
Shop at Rams, the good food people. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas from Rams. Have a holly jolly Christmas this December when you shop at any of our Rams supermarkets and cash and carry locations in St. Kitts and Nevis. Enter to win an Apple Lions. Win yourself an iPhone 13, Apple iPad, Samsung 50-inch Smart TV, or a Whirlpool washing machine. Celebrate Christmas with Rams, where you're guaranteed better prices, better quality, and better value for you and your family. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people.
Terms and conditions apply. See in stores for details.
Gift for Dad's birthday? Click. Ooh, Janice's retirement party? Click. Outfit for my girl's wedding? Click.
With TDC Airbox, you click, we ship. Register for your free U.S. mailbox today and shop all your favorite stores online. Enjoy the convenience. Free consolidation up to £10. Competitive rates. Free package tracking account with live notifications. Free delivery and, of course, excellent customer service. Visit our website at tdcairbox.com and register today. For more information, visit our offices at the C.A. Paul Industrial Site in St. Kitts and Penny's Industrial Site in Nevis. Follow us on social media at TDC Airbox. TDC Airbox. You click, we ship. Terms and conditions apply.
Decided what to eat yet, hun?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet.
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
And getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Voices on WINNFM 98.9. It is 11:55 and we are winding down. We're going to break at 12 for the headline news and we'll come back thereafter to continue Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. I am your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Today is Wednesday, December 8th, 2021, and I hope that you are having a very peaceful and beautiful day, and I hope that it is productive for you. For those of you who tuned in late, we had in the first half an hour the Customs and Excise Department talking about some of the new measures and services that they have implemented to better serve the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And a short while ago, I just gave a brief recap of the budget for 2021 and 2022 presented by the Nevis Island Administration. At this point in time, I am not sure what date has been selected for the presentation of the national budget by the federal government, but I suspect that it will be very soon. For the second hour, we will continue this conversation on the budget presentation presented by the Nevis Island Administration, and I will give you the opportunity to say what you think should have been included or what can be excluded from the budget presentation presented by the Minister of Finance. You can send your suggestions via WhatsApp at 662-2204, or you can just give us a call at 466-0989. So you can send your suggestions as to what you think should have been part of the budget presentation. And do you feel that the ministries, for example, the Ministry of Youth and Sports for this year was allocated $15.7 million. So what do you think could have been added to the budget presentation? Do you think more funds should have been allocated to the different ministries so that they can effectively and efficiently carry out their duties and responsibilities? Of course, you can send those suggestions at 662-2204. That is our WhatsApp number. I'm not sure if the budget is still going on, but they commenced at 10 a.m. today with the contribution by the opposition parliamentarian, that is the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons, and the budget presentation will be continuing over the next few days, where we will hear from the other members of Parliament of the Nevis Island Assembly. And of course, we will be following that and providing some coverage, some news coverage on the presentations that were made. You would notice that for the budget for last year, as mentioned, it was 237.2, and the budget for this year is at 229. What was noted by the Premier is that the total debt for the government as at October 31st, 2021 stands at $440 million. So, the total debt for the Nevis Island Administration, according to the Premier, reported yesterday during his budget presentation, is $440 million. Last year, it was $434.8 million. It has now increased to $440 million. It is 12 noon, so we'll take this break for the headline news, and when we come back, we'll continue this discourse on the budget presentation by the Nevis Island Assembly. Let's take this break, and we will be right back.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
You have the keys to your new car this Christmas? Now it's time to get it insured. Visit DeLean Baldwin, agents for Caribbean Alliance Insurance, to save up to 65% off your motor insurance premium. All new clients are eligible for major discounts. Plus, there's lots of sweet prizes to be won. Switch and save and get in on the action. Visit us today in St. Kitts or Nevis, or give us a call at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Promotion ends December 31st, and all quotes are valid until January 31st. Drive secure this Christmas with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the WIN headline news, I am Kevon Brown.
And I'm Dominic Lescott.
Making the headlines, officials continue to urge fans to get vaccinated to enjoy festivities.
St. Kitts Tourism CEO Raquel Brown will step down on the 31st of December 2021, confirms Minister Grant.
Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Gaston Brown, to present new attempts in securing what he calls accrued funds owed by the United States government from a ruling made by the World Trade Organization 16 years ago. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves slams teachers of the island for a planned strike. Internationally, Australia has said it will join the US in a diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Winter Olympics in China. Now, the details. The entertainment industry has been allowed to restart activity with the most recent statutory rules and orders allowing mass events. The organizers have to go through the hurdle of getting it approved by the Fire and Rescue Services, the police, and the Health Ministry. However, it was no shock that the allowances are all for the vaccinated. Any easing of that restriction was hampered when the Omicron variant of the COVID-19 virus was introduced to the world, even after achieving a significant goal of having 80% of the adult population of St. Kitts and Nevis vaccinated. What about the unvaccinated? Time and time again, we have heard health officials urge people to do the right thing, be responsible, be our brother's keeper, and get vaccinated.
We also need to get the rate of vaccination up in our 18 to 40-year-olds, as this is the group of adults with the lowest vaccination coverage and the highest rate of viral transmission. These are the ones who want to play contact sports, frequent bars and on the strips, and also participate in carnival events. Unfortunately, it's the elderly with pre-existing conditions who are dying when the virus is unknowingly brought back home to them,
said Dr. Cameron Wilkinson during the November 24th press briefing hosted by the National Emergency Operations Center. Outside of mass events, at bars and restaurants, people can socially mix regardless of vaccination status once all COVID-19 protocols are in practice. Health officials have explained that social mixing during mass events presents a greater risk of possible spread, leading to an overload of the healthcare system. What about the possibility of holding different events for the vaccinated and the unvaccinated to minimize the risk?
Such a proposition would not be feasible. It means having two shows and two sets of costs, for example. But at the end of the day, the status quo remains. We've made the decision, and we all have decisions to make in life, whether it be as a government or as individuals. And based on the decisions we make, we have to live with the consequences. The Carnival Committee, myself as minister responsible, and the government has always been consistent that we would only have fully vaccinated persons.
Said Minister of Culture, the Honourable Janelle Powell, the minister with responsibility for the National Carnival, in a sit-down interview with Jason Davis.
I understand the disappointment by those who are not able to participate, but that is their choice not to participate. These are the rules, this is the criteria, it's a competition, and this is what is required to enter. I'm hoping that they utilize the time to really reflect on their decisions, not just to participate in a Calypso show, but to really think about what it means to be vaccinated in the world in which we live today. And when I say vaccinated, I mean vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus.
Powell made those remarks regarding the claims that vaccinated and unvaccinated Calypsonians would be able to compete in the senior Calypso competition even after it was communicated that carnival activities were for the vaccinated. While the Carnival Committee would not be hosting separate events for the unvaccinated, even if a group of individuals would want to have their own Calypso tent for the unvaccinated, or Juve for the unvaccinated, under the current statutory rules and orders, that would not be possible. Once an event has more than 25 patrons, the organizers have to seek approval, and where permission is granted to a person to host an entertainment event, all patrons shall be required to produce proof of full vaccination by presenting their COVID-19 vaccination record or other valid proof of vaccination authorized by the Ministry of Health before entry into the event.
The Honourable Minister of Tourism, Lindsay Grant, confirmed that the CEO of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority will remit office on the 31st of December. We have a very good working relationship with the CEO, said Grant.
The CEO of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, she will demit office on the 31st of December. We have a very good working relationship with the CEO. She's leaving not on any duress, as it seems to be indicated out there. She has personal reasons which she has to attend to in her native land. I want to wish her all the best for her very excellent work that she has done under my watch and before me. She has a very committed and dedicated team which she has molded who can continue the work. And, we wish her all the best. We have parted on very good terms.
St. Kitts Tourism CEO Raquel Brown will step down on the 31st of December 2021, confirms Minister Grant. The Honourable Minister of Tourism, Lindsay Grant, confirmed that the CEO of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority will remit office on the 31st of December. We have a very good working relationship with the CEO, said Grant.
In regional news, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Gaston Brown, to present new attempts in securing what he calls accrued funds owed by the United States government from a ruling made by the World Trade Organization 16 years ago. ABS Antigua has the details.
It's been 16 years since the World Trade Organization's award in favor of this country, and Washington has not budged an inch in paying. Now, Antigua and Barbuda is set to make a major move to secure a resolution. The government signaled its intention during the recent visit of the U.S. Ambassador Linda Tagliatella, as well as another official of the U.S. State Department.
We would have indicated to them that, we will extend a new offer in the new year, which will be significantly less than what we're pursuing. I think there's a difference in the interpretation in terms of the liability. They have the view that the liability was capped at the $23 million US. We have the view that it was cumulative and that it continued to accrue each year.
Officials in St. John's are of the view Washington owes well over $200 million US based on the interest which has accrued. With no movement on this issue, Prime Minister Brown says his government will be moving decisively to engineer an amicable resolution.
We will look at the language again and get some legal advice and put forward a revised proposal early in the year, and I'm hoping we can bring this matter to a close as soon as possible.
He says his government does not want to have an antagonistic relationship with any country, large or small. The head of government is making it clear differences with the United States should not be construed as inherent animus. He made reference to another issue years ago, which had been a lightning rod of controversy and threatened to open up a diplomatic fault line between the two states.
You'd recall some years ago when the United States published in its INSA report certain derogatory information about Antigua and Barbuda, and even its human rights report. We publicly defended Antigua and Barbuda. We have an obligation so to do. And as we said to the United States, even though they may have been offended by the fact that there was a pushback, they have to understand that we can't just sit back and allow them to inadvertently damage the image of the country using false information. But again, there's never any sustaining hostility, just a matter of differences that, over time will always resolve themselves.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves slams teachers of the island for a planned strike. Primetime Caribbean reports.
Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, is urging vaccinated teachers to go to school and teach the nation's children as he responded to the news of strike action. The SVG Teachers Union has issued a call for all teachers to stay away from the school on Tuesday and Wednesday, as well as to join a picket line on Friday. The strike is over the issue of mandatory vaccination. But Gonsalves said all schools will be open. He described the union's request for parents not to send their children to school as a non-starter.
We now bring you these international reports.
Now, Australia's joined the United States in staging a diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Winter Olympic Games over human rights violations. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, said Australian athletes would still compete. In the last hour, a spokesman for China said nobody cares about the Australian boycott. From Sydney, Shaima Khalil has more.
Australian athletes will compete in the Winter Olympics, but there will be no diplomats or officials attending. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, said this boycott should come as no surprise given concerns over human rights violations of the Uyghur minority in China. Also, given the breakdown in communication between Canberra and Beijing, essentially the diplomatic freeze that China has imposed on Australia. For the past 2 years or so, Australian ministers and officials have not been able to make direct phone calls to their Chinese counterparts, let alone meet face to face. That has also contributed to this decision.
We have always been open to meet with the Chinese government to talk about their concerns, whether it's their concerns with our foreign interference legislation or other foreign investment rules, where Australia takes a very strong stand, standing up for Australia's interests. They've been very critical of Australia in our efforts to ensure that we have a strong national defence force, particularly in relation, most recently, to our decision to acquire nuclear-powered submarines.
This has not come in a vacuum for years now, but specifically for the past 2 years, Australia's relationship with China has quickly and significantly deteriorated. There is a long list of reasons, but here are a few crucial examples. Australia's banning of the telecoms giant Huawei from its 5G network, Canberra's consistent criticism of China's policy in Hong Kong, and its treatment of the Uyghur minority. China was then pushed over the edge when Australia backed an international investigation into the origins of COVID-19. They were so angry that a series of trade sanctions followed. Most recently, we heard from the Defense Minister, Peter Dutton here, who said that China treated other countries in the region as tributary states. All of this makes for a grim diplomatic picture. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, though, said this should be separated from sports and that athletes will be competing in the Olympics. And that was welcomed by the Australian Olympic Committee, who said that getting athletes in and out of Beijing safely is their biggest priority and challenge. And while this official boycott is not a surprise, it is the latest episode in a very, very tense relationship between two key partners in the region.
Shaima Khalil.
The government has been defending the evacuation from Afghanistan this summer as the Taliban took over after a whistleblower called it dysfunctional and chaotic. Raphael Marshall told MPs that it was clear some of those left behind had since been murdered by the Taliban. He says thousands of emails pleading for British help went unread and that the Foreign Secretary at the time, Dominic Raab, was slow to make decisions. Mr Raab has denied the claims. Here's our diplomatic correspondent, James Landell.
Kabul airport last summer, thousands sought to flee the advancing Taliban. Amid chaotic scenes, Britain and other Western powers tried to evacuate those it could. But according to a whistleblower, there was chaos in London too. The Foreign Office Crisis Centre was handling requests from Afghans who were at risk because of their links to the UK. A young official working there called Raphael Marshall said the process of choosing who could be evacuated was arbitrary and dysfunctional. He said up to 150,000 people applied for evacuation under this scheme, but he estimated fewer than 5% of these people have received any assistance. It is clear that some of those left behind have since been murdered by the Taliban. One weekend in August, when these Afghans were trying to get out, Mr Marshall said in London there weren't enough staff, with too few working overtime. On one afternoon, he was the only person monitoring emails, thousands of which remained unread. Mr Marshall also said Dominic Raab, then Foreign Secretary, delayed taking decisions until he had all the facts set out in well-presented tables, an interpretation Mr Raab disputed.
In terms of presentation, of course, with the volume of claims coming in, I make no apology for saying I needed the clear facts for each case presented, precisely so that we could make swift decisions.
We already knew that many Afghans had struggled to get in contact with the Foreign Office here. MPs had raised many of their cases. What this evidence does is tell us what was going on inside, and it's a story of a system that just wasn't working. And this afternoon, MPs got to ask the men responsible why.
If this isn't what failure looks like, and I will come on to the specifics of why I think the civil service crisis system clearly failed in this, what does failure look like?
As I say, we successfully evacuated 15,000.
No, I'm sorry, this isn't about the headline stats, this is about the system, the bureaucratic civil service system that should be running a proper crisis centre, fully staffed.
We declared a crisis. We went through the gears in putting more people in.
And as for going on holiday for 11 days during the crisis, at the same time as the Foreign Secretary...
Yeah, I've reflected on that, and if I had my time again, I would have come back from my leave earlier.
And what of those animals rescued from Penfarthing's charity in Kabul, given, some claim, priority over human beings? Mr Marshall said this was at the instruction of the Prime Minister. Downing Street said that was untrue. Mr Johnson said...
No, that's complete nonsense, but what I can tell you is that I think that the operation of pitting to airlift 15,000 people out of Kabul in the way that we did over the summer was one of the outstanding military achievements of the last 50 years.
But a letter emerged tonight from Mr Johnson's then parliamentary aide suggesting that, well, she at least was involved in facilitating the animals' rescue. What both government and whistleblower agree is that not enough people were evacuated. And there are many Afghans with links to Britain still not free to leave, still not free from danger. James Landell, BBC News.
Well, let's talk to our Afghanistan correspondent, Sikandar Kamani, who is in Kabul for us this evening. How much do we actually know about the fate of those people who asked for help and didn't get it?
Well, some of them have reconciled themselves to the idea of living under the Taliban, but others are still looking for ways out, either because of the current economic crisis here or fearing retribution from the Taliban. Amongst those stranded here is a former British Army interpreter who I've been in contact with. He's living in hiding. He submitted his application months ago but is yet to receive any response, though I understand some other interpreters have been evacuated in recent weeks. But this process has been particularly difficult for those Afghans who weren't directly employed by the British or other foreign governments, but who played important roles in civil society here, journalists, activists. And many of them have travelled across the border to Pakistan on short-term visas, hoping then to find Western countries that they can travel on to, but many are really struggling to get any results with that. The British government had announced a policy to accept up to 20,000 vulnerable Afghans over the next 5 years. That applications for that has not yet started. As for reports of killings, well, it's been very hard to verify incidents. We do know of at least one incident in which an individual who used to work for the security forces linked to Britain was killed, however.
Sikandar Kamani in Kabul. Thank you.
You were listening to the WINNFM headline news on 98.9. Our top stories were: officials continue to urge fans to get vaccinated to enjoy festivities.
St Kitts Tourism CEO Raquel Brown will step down on the 31st of December 2021, confirms Minister Grant.
Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Gaston Brown, to present new attempts in securing what he calls accrued funds owed by the United States government from a ruling made by the World Trade Organization 16 years ago. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves slams teachers of the island for a planned strike. Internationally, Australia has said it will join the US in a diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Winter Olympics in China. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly. have the keys to your new car this Christmas? Now it's time to get it insured. Visit DeLean Baldwin, agents for Caribbean Alliance Insurance, to save up to 65% off your motor insurance premium. All new clients are eligible for major discounts. Plus, there's lots of sweet prizes to be won. Switch and save and get in on the action. Visit us today in St. Kitts or Nevis, or give us a call at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Promotion ends December 31st and all quotes are valid until January 31st. Drive secure this Christmas with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Terms and conditions apply.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Welcome back to Voices on WINFM 98.9. It is 12:27 and we are going to continue Voices here today. You can call us at 466-0989, 762-0989 and 662-0989. This is Voices on WINFM 98.9 and I am your host for today, Devon Cornelius. You can also view us on Facebook at WINNmedia SKN, and you can also check out our YouTube channel at WINNmedia SKN. We're also live at www.winmediaskn.com. Again, the numbers to call are 466-0989, 762 and 662. So the phone lines are open and we are taking your calls here on Voices for us to continue this discussion on the budget presentation. But if you have any particular topic that you would want to raise at this point in time, feel free to do so. The phone lines are open and we are taking your calls. As mentioned earlier, today we are seeing the presentation of the budget for or by the Nevis Island Assembly for the island of Nevis for the fiscal year 2022. And monies have been allocated, of course, to the different ministries so that the government can carry out some of its policies and programs. We have our first call for this afternoon, so let us head to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You are on the air.
My concern, right? The lady said this morning, yeah, they body camera, like the uniform have on camera. Remember, it's the camera could lock off, that ain't the solution, Cornelius, I'm just very sorry that I had to put this government in place. Like they were saying they're going to do a little better than the other one. Nobody perfect, yes, but we could be worse. You know, you say them stupidness when the other government were in. Yes, it might used to happen now and then. But not bad, you know, to give them, why they give them that authority. They're not going to cabinet, right? What you mean to say? 8 of them will sit around the table, however, for nothing, just smile and drink out, maybe a little white wine, and we will just do, and that's it, a glass of water, a bottle of water. That ain't sound good for intelligent people. I don't even know what to think of here. I just know, no, it just get me so upset. That should have been more rectified, more better than that, than to be worse. I know, yeah, this thing could come into barrels, which is not supposed to, but put the camera, okay, you put somebody to open it right in front the person, as they call in and said, the lady before, you know, you close down. And, you know, say, lady, what you doing with this gun in your barrel? How this comes so way over? And you hold them accountable. But this thing about open barreling, where get that kind of just from? That never been heard before. I'm very sorry I say, you know, Mr. Cornelius, I ain't reached no Oxford, no Harvard, but I believe I'm more, you know, and I come in a normal scale, more sensible than that. You don't put rat to my cheese. Where you gonna go? I'm gonna tell you, you blindly just chuck $10,000 in your hand and send you down the road. Go get Tom for me. Did I count the $10,000 in front of you now? And you were going to me, the lady and count the $10,000 me and took out one and tell him, because no, I get. We were. I don't know what stopping is going on for intelligentness. I don't know really, because that shouldn't happen, and that sounds so stink across the globe. That really sounds stink. And next thing I was concerned last night on a talk show about how our land disappear. Mr. Cornelius, you got your piece of land net? Maybe no. Maybe soon, maybe no. How nobody vigilizing these things? Yes, investors don't come and buy, but not buy, lease them. Are you going to give them all our patch money? Or we good land? What happened to you? What happened? Let us say let us do something. Go around and check your household. I forget the name that they call it again. And so much people in a household and whatever. And say, well, this person ain't got nothing yet and that person got away with it. We need to look for ourselves. Mr. Cornelius, you can go up Jamaica, Trinidad, anytime now and talk about, oh, I get piece of land up there. Well, I'm going to want to, you know, how to think it's not, say, I get you. No. You'll be going and going and going. It's about you're in excess into it because then so and him you get so we go kitchen come up here just get that there boy. You know, somebody take you, not the person give you and take you to somebody who you don't expect. So my concern, I heard a lady calling in last week talking nonsense about how you'd call over me. We say the custom to call over there by one radio about who know you and who don't know you. That is, oh my God, we need some more sense. We need to think more. I must round it off and say, and to talk them stupidness that them people is just mischievous. And because for the government, they don't want to hear what another person have to say. But they ain't happy and satisfied with. I have $6,000. Yes, I got to concern that you get something, and so I only may want to get, I get yes. But how long it took me, Mr. Cornelius, I came home at 82. And I've been going, when they have them hosted before they repair them on Wellington Road here. I did like them, and they kind of like them, because only me and my child, one person, me and my daughter, and it would have been it was suitable for me. And I've been going, never get you. I didn't know that's this style when one family come out, they put in another family, and that was wrong also, because you go by a border. And that was very wrong. I didn't get you. I fought to go all around, rent places until I get the this my own. I get this land 2004, and then I get it finished. I get the house built in 2007. I did begin already in 2012, but I couldn't go on, and then I went to them and they helped me. They helped me to do it in 2017. I appreciate it. But you got to look for others, Mr. Cornelius. We got 2 children. Even though you don't get peace, and you ain't gonna want to them to get something to the growing up. You're going down the coming up. And that is the thing I don't like about this country. You try to express yourself, they're talking, big people talking nonsense. Grown people. So if you don't look out for who, going to look out for who. I didn't know so long it took me, then I got like 82, trying to get land, me ain't get on. I mean, not 82, 85. 82 is when I came home. I started to look around, 85. Still didn't get on. I tried to go to the birthday, and I said, which university, I tried to go, I couldn't get any. But after within 2004, I succeeded, I moved out of one area and went to another area. And this friend of mine, as they were opening up here, the new project going to the bypass road, I saw lucky to get peace up here. But you got to look for others too, and people must concern.
Right.
My father, Mr. Come and half now, was up, man, wake up all at 4 in the morning. My father originally mother from Nevis, yes, and my grandmother, my mother. And they came down here as young people too. I didn't know my father, mother, because she died young after having a baby, and catch a cold when Mango got. You see what happened to her? All because things wasn't good in them days. So we got to look for your future.
Right. Caller, thank you.
Future.
Thank you so much for
and people talking nonsense.
Your contribution to this program. Yeah, you have a good one, and thank you so much for your contribution to this program. We want to take some other callers. It is 12:37. We are still taking calls here on Voices with respect to the body cams that were introduced by the Customs Department. This, as stated by the Customs officer, is an added security feature. So, whereas customs officers or the examination officers were inspecting or examining your cargo, your barrels, etc., before with just perhaps cameras that were in the room at that point in time, they now have body cams, and it is not as easy for one to turn off the body cam. And if for some reason one of the examining officers turn off their body cam, then of course they would have to answer to their superior. But according to the officer that was here today, in the examination of the cargo will not be able to commence unless the body cam is on the actual person and is filming. So it's not as simple as you just having a camera and you're taping your own self. It's part of your uniform, and it has to be on before the examination process commences. That is how I understand it to be, and as stated by the Customs Department, it is an added security measure because they have received or have been receiving claims of missing items. I think, according to the Customs officer, more than 50 claims are on their desk at this point in time for people who are saying that their things went missing. So these body cams are there to, better serve the public, because we've heard of many instances where things come in and they never come out. And as stated by the Customs officer, it may be a case where they were repackaged into something else and sent off to the wrong person, the wrong customer, consumer, whatever the case may be. So these body cams are going to help the situation, and we're hoping that we would hear of less instances of things going missing. We are still taking your calls here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. It is about 20 minutes to the hour of 1, and the phone lines are still open. The numbers are 466-0989, 762 and 662-0989. We're still taking your calls here. So yes, that is why the body cams were introduced for the Customs Department. Remember, you can call and you can raise any topic that you would like, but I'm just taking a look at the budget presentation that was presented yesterday, and they are continuing today. Now, at this point in time where we are going through, we're currently in a pandemic, and people, I know for a fact, wake up every day hoping that things would get better and that we would go back to normal. Now, we understand that that is not the case, and we're going to have to live with and adapt to this new normal for some time. And so where we once did things, differently without any restrictions or anything in mind, of course, it will have to change. At this point in time, people are really looking for a change. And when you ask change does not necessarily mean a change in administration, a change in who run the affairs for the country. But I think what a change really means from the people is a change in policies, a change in programs, and governments really acting as if they do care about the people and really carrying out the work of the people. We have elections after elections, and we put people in office, and of course before putting them in office they would come with these nice words and nice talk about how they're going to deliver for you and how they're going to perform for you and how they're going to do this and that. But whenever they get to that position, you hear little to nothing. And so people, you continue to play with the emotions of people. People continue to lose trust in the entire political and electoral process. People continue to lose interest, and that is why we are seeing now people just refuse to participate, because they're telling themselves that this is another opportunity for them to be fooled again. Looking at this budget that was presented by the NIA, you're seeing where most of it would be funded through taxes. You're seeing where a loan was accessed from the Social Security Board, and we're also seeing some support from the CBI program, I think to the tune of 56, I stand to be corrected, but I think it's $56 million. And so the talk of fair share, of course, came about when this was stated by the Prime Minister. Now, the ridiculous argument that I've been hearing is that whenever the question is raised, or not the question, sorry, the topic of fair share, the CBA program is raised, you would hear two questions. What did the Premier do with the funds? Because allegations have been brought against the Nevis Island administration that the funds have been wasted, or the funds have been spent in areas that they should not have been spent in, or there have been poor fiscal management, and the NIA has spent the money recklessly. These are some of the claims that have been put against the Nevis Island administration. That is one. Number two, when you talk about the CBI, you're hearing of instances, or you're going to hear the question of how much does St. Kitts get? The fact of the matter, or really and truly, both questions are important and both questions are relevant. How much does St. Kitts get, and what is Nevis doing with what they are getting? And so people continue to ask for receipts of where and when and how these monies are spent. Of where, when, and how these monies are spent. Now, if you look at the budget presentation where the Ministry of for the 2021 year, the Ministry of Social Development, Culture, Youth and Sports was allocated 16.1 million. And it says that this represented 6.7% of the total budget. It says included in this amount are funds allocated for the delivery of the social protection agenda and improvements to sporting facilities. Now, when you look at improvements to sporting facilities, one would have thought that it would have said completion of sporting facilities. We're seeing on the island of Nevis where the Mondo track facility was started. I'm not sure of which, I think it was 2017 the construction started. And we're in 2021 and it is still incomplete. Now, talking about this, some people may say, well, I'm being biased and I'm attacking the NIA. This is not a matter of being biased or attacking anybody, but it is the fact of the matter. We have seen too many times where projects are started and they never finish. Projects are started and they never finish. And some may want to take it lightly, but remember, when government or let me say, when these things happen, it only affects us as taxpayers. And so you're going to continue to see an increase in this fee or that fee or this tax or that tax if funds are not spent wisely. And so you saw where the Mondo track was introduced, but to this date, it is still incomplete. Now, one may want to view it as, oh, that's a little minor thing, you know. Nobody is talking about the Mondo track, but these things are very important because at the end of the day, we are going to be the ones that would have to bear the cost. So we ignore the fact that projects are starting and these things are happening, of course, at the expense of the public. We ignore these things. But when they begin to affect us with increase in fees and increase in taxes, we make noise and we complain about it most naturally. But from the beginning, we say nothing. We remain silent. Now we are seeing, apart from where governments are starting projects and not completing them, we're seeing where there have been change of administrations. And because there is a change in the administration, projects don't continue. And so they start, they stop, and then that's it. Who has to pay for that? The public, the taxpayers. They are the ones that have to pay for this. So when you look at the budget allocation for the Ministry of Youth and Sports last year, let me check again, 16.1 million. And for 2022, the NIA says that it will now be 15.7 million. So, of course, there is a decrease. Now, I'm not sure if the Mondo track would fall under this particular ministry or if it would fall under the Ministry of Communications and Works, because some of the work would have to be carried out by that ministry. We have a caller on the line, so we will take this call. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Let us take this other call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, it's me again. You're a young, brilliant man, you know. You know what the stage and all that, and one of these days I'm going to look up to you and see you come bigger. You're hitting it right on the nail, you know. The Red Cross, they don't burn down the abattoir by the Baptist church. I passed him. You could see it on the main road and all. You know where it is, going across the road here. There's a building there. They said that was for the government first, the government. I mean, for the people there. What happened to it? The government building. Because it ain't them finish it. It just left to desert. Deserted. What happened to it? That's a taxpayer's money. They just say it, you know. Somebody bust a joke the other day. I say, I was trying to attack the friend of my passing. I said, look, the building down here unfinished. Right? Then he said, but they must have done sell it. They can't sold it like that. And, you know, again, I don't like, oh my God. I then went, reach up no big, where the college school, no high school up there, no senior high, you know. Right? I went to all age Molyneux school. Let me tell you. But I thinking now, you know, as you get older, they say you get a little more wisdom. My thinking about, right? What they'd be doing if they're going to do this project. You see how much a project you say undone? And what I see with my naked eyes, I don't have to go in no Oxford book, nothing. It was just a bazaar. You open my project over by Borough Gate. You open what you down Old Road. You open down Main Road, unfinished. People balling over in a drop in the world, me accent and Mama shock me bus can take. Come on. Mr. Bratcher used to do one at a time. When you see a place to do, you never see them go nowhere else and go Mount Kill because me left the road, man. I'm going up Mount Kill now, go open. No way. I don't know who does get them. Oh my gosh. I got to come out before. When you say these things, Mr. Cornelius, people get mad at you. Who drive in? Who really did drive? And people are praising him up. Yeah, he may be good on accountants. But I believe we need him good on some more, you know, help, you know. But these people will buzz again, you wrong thing, no? You think somebody come down and tell me, but, oh, open your bar tomorrow. No, open me till next week. No, open me till, Christmas Day. No. It's me guy to 21 years, I should know how I want it to run or not. Or take the 20 cases of drink. Excuse me? Not now, you know. Mr. Cornelius, you forget about the 12, about 6, 7 cell now a weekend time you get a lot. I'm stupid. So who can pay for those rest drinks? No, man, we need to wake up and people taking it personal. They must have this personal hit. But if they're not analyzing nothing, you know. Already analyzing, they're getting the $500 and it's sweet them sometimes, and some of them get it along with the social security, so it's sweet them. That is not it. You know, when my sister told me last night from the state, they say, you say these things will happen here. That would have never happened in the state. Every time you're going, you're just gone into business, to government. You own a whole block onto the Trinidad song with Mr. Chuck does sing. One so you used to sell coconut, now you buy out the whole of flat. It's too naked in my eyes and I could see it. Nobody made a thing. You have a book there where you used to read and you may not get high because nobody used to there to help you. Your parents got to work, got to come home late. Already thinking, oh, let me cook some food, get the child and that's it. But they're gone. They leave you behind and you've seen. They say when you used to talk to me about Mr. Richard to teach me, sure, yeah, that was your momentum. That's all you see. But when people go outside there and they go to school and you're surprised to people that feel look dumb, they come back. They all a post, they're doing this. So me ain't like one of them there.
Right.
I am, my eyes open up and every day, so let the person leave me alone. That lanky lady.
Right.
I'm speaking what to see. A word from the government and let me talk what to see. You have a good afternoon. I like how you hit that. That's what's going on, man. Stupidness. Look the pay out there now. I have a problem the last pay. You know what Mr. Douglas never helped me? Because he had said the cave under it. Where they go with the nonsense. Wasting taxpayers' money. Ain't the money, no, they're not kidding.
Right. Thank you, Carla, so much for your contribution to this program. We're still taking calls here on Voices. The numbers are 466-0989, 762 and 662. So yes, caller, that is basically what I want to say. When we have projects that start and they don't finish, and these incomplete projects, at the end of the day, it is us as taxpayers that ones really feeling the brunt of the entire thing, and we're the ones that have to pay for it. So some may view it as, oh well, the government. No, I mean, when you're seeing change in administrations, you may have party supporters that are of the opinion that, well, this party should not continue that project that was started by the previous administration. Is utter foolishness, because at the end of the day, you are the ones that would have to pay for that. You are the ones that will experience the increase in fees, the increase in taxes, And then you're going to turn around and bother and say, well, the government curb the taxes for this and the taxes for that. But in the beginning, you were supporting it. And so when we have this nonsense of starting projects and not completing projects and then coming back to fool the people and make them feel like, well, we couldn't do it because of COVID. I mean, it's rubbish. And people must not accept, this great level of incompetence. And I don't apologize for saying it. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad. And that is why, as I've said before, people continue to lose confidence in the entire process. This has nothing to do with one particular administration or one particular government. All of them are guilty of it. Projects have started and they don't finish. And we continue to waste precious public funds. And areas where monies should be spent are not spent. It is crazy. It is just about 4 minutes to the hour of 1. We're going to give a quick shout out to the sponsors for this program. And when we come back, we'll continue Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. Let's take this short break. We will be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Drop everything and come now to Hosford's Auto Parts and Accessory Center for their big Drop Everything sales event for the rest of 2021. Go to Hosford's Auto Accessories and Parts Center, where they'll be dropping 30% off select accessories, 20% off car batteries. But the rubber really hits the road with this deal. 20% off all tires, or get one tire free with the purchase of 4 tires. Buy 4 tires, get 1 free from now until the end of 2021. What? So drop everything and come now to Hosford's Auto Parts and Accessories Drop Everything sales event. Now dropping 30% off select accessories, 20% off batteries and tires. Or buy 4 tires, get 1 tire free. Yes, drop everything and go now to Hosford's Auto Accessories and Parts Center.
We are the best.
The Federation's favorite auto parts and accessories store.
Welcome back to Voices on WINNFM 98.9. It is 1 o'clock. Today is Wednesday, December 8, 2021, and you're listening to Voices on WINNFM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me here on Voices. Happening tonight in Nevis is the I think it's referred to as the National Christmas Tree Lighting. So This will be held at the War Memorial in Charlestown. That's right there by the bus stop. And a number of people will be coming out to witness this grand occasion. Of course, adhering to the COVID-19 protocols, wearing your mask and sanitizing your hands as much as possible. I'm not sure if the social distancing would be a thing, but most importantly, people are encouraged to wear their face masks. It's also the carnival season right here in St. Kitts, and people are enjoying that. I must say, the opening of carnival a few days ago was spectacular, and this is how it should be going forward. So it wouldn't look good to see that we come with a grand opening, a spectacular opening of carnival for the 50th anniversary, and going forward we drop flat again. Keep it this way. Keep it nice and really, really good. You know, really telling the story of carnival and what carnival really means to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. It is just about 2 minutes past the hour of 1, and we are continuing Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius, and we are continuing our discussion on the budget presentation. Of course, the phone lines are open, and you can call us and give us your take on the presentation that is currently ongoing at the sitting of the Nevis Island Assembly. If you have anything else that you would like to bring up at this particular point in time, I will also entertain that from you. The numbers are 466-0989-762 and 662. I gave out the WhatsApp number earlier, but I apologize. The WhatsApp number is not available at the moment. So yes, we're going to be taking your participation via the phone lines, which are 466-0989-762-0989 and 662-0989. Remember, we are also live on Facebook at WINNMedia SKN, and you can check out our YouTube channel at WINNMedia SKN. Now, we are seeing for the Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs for this year being allocated some 35.6 million for this year. Okay, wait, sorry, that was for last year. Let me get the current figure. The figure for this year is $34 million, and this is representing 14.9% of the total budget. Now, including in this budget, I would assume would be because for last year, included in the budget was, the salary increase for the frontline workers, particularly the nurses. So I'm not entirely sure if this is the case for this year. But the budget for the Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs is $34 million, and we're hoping to see some improvements in the healthcare sector. Currently ongoing, as I mentioned before, is the expansion project at the Alexandra Hospital. What I would like to see also is some renovative works at our health centers. Some of them do need to be repaired, and some of them do need some work. So we're hoping that those works can be carried out, and that this budget would be enough to have that done. I mean, nothing annoys people more than having poor health care facilities. It's disgraceful and distasteful, and so we're hoping that as part of this budget, that some of our, not some, but our healthcare facilities can be improved. And we're hoping for the 2022 early that the hospital expansion project, which is long overdue and very much delayed, can be completed. To be quite honest with you, I'm really tired of the excuses And this had to be done, and that had to be done from the beginning. We must learn to do things properly, and we must learn how to really manage our projects properly and not have them, run 2 and 3 and 4 years behind time. It's really, really embarrassing, and it does not look good. It does not look good whatsoever. So we're hoping that for the 2022 year, we can see a completion of the hospital expansion project. I want to bring here quickly, I just saw some reports, and I did saw some reports last night as well, but it seems as if reports are indicating that there was a shooting incident in Nevis last evening in the Cotton Ground area. So reports indicate that there was a shooting incident in the Cotton Ground area in Nevis last night. Of course, WINNFM will be making contact with the police to confirm this report. But as it is right now, we do not know at what time this happened. We do not know if anyone was injured fatally or what. But we understand at this time that there was a shooting incident, and we hope that that person is not in a critical condition. It is 6 minutes past the hour of 1. The phone lines are open, and we are taking your calls here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. So if you look at the budget presentation and the allocation for the different ministries, we are seeing for the Ministry of Tourism being allocated funding in the amount of $5.2 million. This represents about 2.3% of the total budget. So the Ministry of Tourism was allocated $5.2 million. As I am on the topic of the Ministry of Tourism, on December 19th, the Pinnies Park will be opening this doors, and we hope that this opening of this development can bring much needed employment to the people of Nevis, and I'm hoping that people would take advantage of it. With all of this, though, some people have expressed their dissatisfaction that the requirement for employment there is that one must be fully vaccinated, and we should not be surprised or even upset with that. As you know, most people and most businesses and companies and organizations, this is what they are implementing, and this is what they are mandating, that in order for you to continue your employment with this company, you must be fully vaccinated against COVID, and in order for you to start employment here with this company, you must be fully vaccinated. So on December 19th, the Pinnies Park will open on the island of Nevis, and we're hoping that this will bring much employment. I'm just encouraging people to get vaccinated so that you can take advantage of that opportunity. Don't just, if you're in a position where you need employment, and one of the prerequisites are that you have to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19, please, if you have no underlying health conditions and you're not, don't have any legitimate reason for not wanting to be vaccinated, then I'm encouraging you to go and do so and take advantage of this employment opportunity or the employment opportunities that may be presented. Now, 5.2 million. One would have thought that the Ministry of Tourism, which is our main economic driver, and where most of the activities happening, one would have thought that this ministry would have gotten more funds to do some more things on the island of Nevis. In my opinion, I don't think 5.2 million is enough to really carry out all of the mandates and responsibilities that the Ministry of Tourism will have to do. We're hoping now that with the reopening of the cruise tourism sector, where we're seeing the cruise lines are coming back to the country, we're hoping that we would see much more revenue being generated. But I find that this figure of 5.2 million is rather small. Now, hearing different feedback and getting feedback from people of their opinion of the budget, some people were really hoping that the budget would have catered more so to some education and training for young people. And yes, there are some programs that are there and there are opportunities there, but we find that most of the opportunities that are really catered to people who are into the book and pen versus those who are really for the hands-on. And so sometimes people, not sometimes, but it's good to have a segment of the labor workforce, or the workforce rather, trained in a particular area. You need carpenters, you need electricians, you need plumbers. These are people that we need so that you can have a diverse workforce. If my memory serves me right, when we examined the IMF report, it was recommended by the IMF that the education sector, what we're offering in our education system, should align with the needs of the workforce. And so, offering these training sessions or training courses or short courses where people can get themselves certified is needed. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and he was talking about, the fact that there are people that have been working in industries for many, many years. Imagine spending 20 years as a chef, but you don't really have a piece of paper to say that you are certified or qualified. Then that really prevents you from being marketable. Yes, experience is really good. And sometimes, not sometimes, but on most occasions, it is the experience that would get you to where you want to be in life. But I still think that with all of that experience, you should still be able to get yourself certified and make yourself a bit more marketable. And so I think this is what, people are really hoping for. And, it's just, I want to use this opportunity to encourage people who are working in a particular trade, whether you're working in the field of construction, you are a plumber, and an electrician. You perhaps may have 15 to 20 to 25 years of experience in working in this field. I encourage you to go off and get yourself certified. I know of a few people who, work in this non-traditional sector, and they went off and they got themselves qualified. They got themselves trained, and instead of being an employee, they are now employers. They are now employing people. They are now providing for themselves and their families. They are now, contributing to the economic development of the country and the social development of the country, because not only do they have 20 or 30 years of experience in, for example, electrical work or carpentry or plumbing or painting, but they have a piece of certificate to back it up. They have something to say that, hey, this is what I learned and this is what I have to show. So it's not necessarily about going off to get a 4-year or a 3-year degree, because not everybody may have that, capacity to do that, or not everybody would be interested in doing such. But there are just some people that prefer to do, the hands-on things, and they would want to get themselves qualified. And so, I could say that it perhaps would have been the hope of a lot of people to see, some allocation in the budget for the Ministry of Education, Library Services and Technology, where these programs can be carried out and facilitated. Because yes, there are a lot of young people that prefer to do the hands-on, but the opportunity may not be there for them to do so. We're going to head to the phone lines and let us take this call right now. Caller, good afternoon. You are on the air.
Okay, let's come to my last call. That's a good note to hit on. Is it true? I don't hope so, I hope I just ain't it a light without thing. We supposed to build in your prison. And what I overheard there last week in town, they're bringing in some people to build it. What happened to all these people who in this contract? What happened to them? What happened? They got the skill?
Well, you see,
And
the issue is that while they do have the skill, I think what they're looking for is people who are certified. So when we have, these projects, these capital projects, it's really good to use the local human resource, but you can't if many are not certified. Go ahead.
Well, right, to me, I look around after Mr. Bell gone, and he leave some good men behind. So I hope when they go to the border, they don't have it down there, down the garden there, the college down there. I hope that, something work out. And I must stop big about Lois Bidder. You know what I heard, Mr. Cornelius? They paid toward the social day about maybe 7, 8, 9 months. And, people are grumbling because who get the bid? Who get the bid? Somebody who wasn't from here. And they say, oh, come, man, somebody paid the other people who could have get joining and, and they say, man, I should have got a part to paint that and so on and so on. And they're grumbling. Can't to them come out and speak out, let me stop, say, oh, we won't stop bash the government, because that is there to do. If you ain't speak out, you're going to speak out for you. If you got something dig you in your foot, Mr. Connell, your mother put on your little shoes when you're going to church or Sunday school. And you say, mommy, because it's a child, what happened to you? Because you still pick up the cash out Saturday night. You're all going to church Sunday morning. And you ain't tell mommy, well, something in my foot, she maybe just used to see do a little scratching, but up to now you didn't explain to her. Well, then she told her to put on the little hard shoes now. Walk in it. It's going up more and more in your flesh. They must come out and talk or speak out, because that's what we here for. That's what we pay our tax for, and that's what we put in a government for, to express. Because you can't be true. You can bring, and here where they're going to bring out Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados. So I'm to have an engineer from the mayor. You or somebody had somebody there and the programmer there and said they were going to study from here yourself. You were questioning them and all, so they were going to study for engineering and where you were. So they need to speak out and say, I have an electrical friend. And well, I told him the other day, well, I see a job going on, boom, 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 because they call him to do a project house at one time. He had a problem, and the person do it so good. And when I said, well, they didn't call it to butt in this thing. He said, no, they give this other person because our lobby then. Everybody need to eat, mind tell them stop bad house, we get you hungry. When you're hungry, you're angry. You have a good afternoon here. You need to get the people them here the job, though.
Thank you so much, caller.
Who ain't from here. Not who from here get the job and hire him from here. The person must laugh with them thousands of dollars they went to him in their hand.
Caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. We are continuing Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. And if I may respond to that, caller, I think the issue has been, I'm not so sure it's a situation where local or businesses don't want to hire local people to do projects like these, but I think it is a situation where people are not certified. And so you may have here, let us make the scenario. You may have here a local person working in the field of or doing electrical work for 20 years. So John Doe is doing electrical work for 20 years, and his friend is doing electrical work for the same 20 years. But then when there is a bidding and the whole process to get electricians to be a part of this project, his friend, who has the same amount of years of experience, would get the job because they have a certificate. And sadly, that is how the world works now. So you can't just come and say, well, I've been here for 20 years. They want to see your proof. It's just like with the vaccination. You can't just say you're vaccinated. We want to see proof that you're vaccinated. So people may not have, the access to funds to go out and get themselves trained. So that is why I believe these initiatives shouldn't be funded and supported by the government, because this in turn would benefit the government. Because imagine hiring a bunch of people to do a project, and yes, they may have 20, 30 years of experience working in that field, but they're not certified. And so they did not meet the standard, the international standard of how these projects should be completed. We're seeing a situation now where, projects are happening, and because the people are not, properly certified and they don't have the proper training, the projects are being done poorly. And when you talk, people vex with you. When you talk, people vex, but the projects are being done poorly. And in turn, you're wasting public funds, because you do the project today, and by 2 years later in mashup, you have to come back again and do it again. And so it's ridiculous. And so the best way is to get people who are certified. If it is the case that only foreigners are people who are, or people who are not from St. Kitts and Nevis are the only ones that are certified, then so be it. But our local people have to get up, go out, and get themselves certified, because that is how the world is working now. You can't just come and say, well, boy, I've been working here since 2010, so I have 11 years experience. I know how to do this. And I must choose you over somebody else who not only has the 10 years or 11-year experience, but somebody who has a certificate to back up the knowledge that they have. That is how the world is working now. I'm not saying that the person with the certificate would be able to do the job better, but that's just how the world is working now. They would have more experience. They would have more exposure to training. That is how the world is working now. And it makes you, as the person, a bit more marketable. So while it is the hope, while it is our wish that our local people will be employed to do projects like these, if you're not certified, then you're not going to get the opportunity to do the job. You're not going to get the opportunity to do the job. And so people have to go out and get themselves certified. But again, I still stand by the position. I still stand by the point that projects like these should be introduced and funded by the government. We have seen where projects like these have happened in St. Kitts and Nevis. And again, I do know a few people who have benefited from these programs where, they've been working in this field for some time, and they were able to go off to a particular country, get themselves trained, certified. They're now back. They're now employing people. They're now adding to the country's development, to the country's building up. It's just like the conversation I had here the other day about young people going off to get degrees, and instead of coming back to depend on the government for employment, go out and create employment for yourself. And so you'll come back here with a degree in technology or information technology. Instead of begging the government to work in the technology department, go and start your own business. Yes, it is easier said than done, because the ease of doing business in St. Kitts and Nevis is crazy. But you have to start somewhere. I don't think you people should go out there and get a degree and then come back home to just, let me say, quote unquote, beg. But we have to be resilient. We have to be we can't be lazy people. We got to get up and work and do what we want for ourselves, because you just can't expect people to come and baby you and feed you and say, hey, take this for that. No, we got to get up and work for what we want. And we have to get up and be productive people. Many a times we would blame government for this and blame government for that, which, yes, government is responsible for running the affairs of the country and making sure things are in the right place. But we as a people, we have our part to play. And even when we are criticizing government, we are very fake, outraged, and we're very secretive with our criticism. You need to be able to take the government to task. You are the one to put them in power, irregardless of whether you support them or not. And if there's an administration in place right now and you are not satisfied with what they are doing, take them to task. I'm not asking you to be disrespectful. I'm not asking you to chastise the ministers and tell them about their past and what they did from what they did not do in their personal life, because that is where things get low and disrespectful. But if you are not pleased with the performance of the government, you have that democratic right, that freedom of speech to take them to task. But again, the sad reality is that it is easier said than done, because you have a situation where if you speak too hard, people vex with you. And people seek to badmine you and bring you down and victimize you. And some people just don't have the support and the backing to go out on that, let me say, limb. And so that is why you see most people just prefer to stay quiet. Most people just prefer to, just go through the motion and do things and just live life. Just live life. But we can't continue to elect people. We can't continue to put people in office. And then when they go in there, they mess up. We say, oh, Lord, it's ridiculous. And we whisper and say, I mean, like how this person did. Tell them to the face. Let them know. If we continue to do that, we are going to make them comfortable. And we're going to make them feel as if they can go and do as they like, because we refuse to talk. And then you have a small section of people that when you talk, the puppet supporters, they get up and they want to kill you. They want to kill you because you're making the government minister look bad. Rubbish. This is a democratic society, a democratic country. People should be able to speak their minds as long as they are being respectful. People should be able to say, boy, I don't like how the country is running. Boy, I like how the country is running. Whatever you want to say without people trying to chastise you and say, well, not he ain't getting this time because he talked bad about the minister. It's rubbish. And that should not be. But sadly, that is what is happening in the country, where people are afraid to speak. People are afraid to speak because they are afraid of the repercussions. They are afraid of the backlash. They are afraid of what will happen if they get too vocal. No, nobody is asking you to be political, because there are just some people that are just politically blind and naive. And because of their support for a particular political party, they can't see nothing else but that color. It is fine to support any party that you wish. But from the moment that you can't tell them that they're going wrong, well, grab a smoke your pipe. Grab a smoke your pipe and things ain't going to be good for you. We have to be able to pull them aside and say, boy, you're messing up. This is not what you promised when you were campaigning. This is not what you promised when you came to me and you said, send you in parliament or in government. But the sad reality is that people are afraid to speak up because of the repercussions and what may happen. Believe it or not. People just prefer to just, go through life as normal and usual and, just not get themselves caught up in that whole mess, You can't wrong them, especially if they want to live a stress-free life. But we as a people, we really have a lot of power, but I don't even know if we know that. And we don't know what to do that. And we don't know how to show that, sorry. So we need to continue to be demanding of the government and demand that the government do more for its people. Because I'm sick and tired of excuses. Well, we couldn't do this because of this, and we couldn't do that because of that. Okay, it's fine that you would come back and explain to us that you were unable to carry out this particular project because of some difficulties that may have arisen. And understanding, too, that the government can't do everything and that the private sector has their role to play. But I fed up with the excuses. And I'm pretty sure you are too. You're tired. You're fed up. You're frustrated. Because you had confidence that things were going to be better. You had confidence that things were going to change. You had confidence that there were going to be a people-centered approach. Not saying that there is not, because everybody would view things differently. And what is happening for some can't be used to say it is happening for all. The same formula used for that particular problem can't be used for another problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time, and so I'm going to have to end this program right here on WINNFM 98.9. This has been another edition of Voices. Thank you so much for your participation for today, and we're going to continue Voices on Friday. That is December 10th, 2021. Until next time, stay safe. Remember to wear your mask, wash your hands. Please wear your seatbelts and stay safe on the road. I've been your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Until next time, take good care.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM. We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's that time again. Triple Cashback is back, but with more. Triple your cashback with Triple Play. Triple the savings, triple the cashback, and get a chance to win. Triple the cashback for more free groceries at Portsmouth Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store today. Yes, for the rest of 2021. Portsmouth Furniture and Appliances is tripling your savings with triple cashback coupons for even more free groceries for all FlexPay hire purchase customers. But that's not all. Every hire purchase customer gets a chance to win up to triple the